Beautiful people, my friends, my lovers, my community, you are here in my heart space. I feel you every day. Um, I'm going to do an Empress Goddess reading today for my beautiful empresses, my beautiful goddesses, my beautiful divine feminines who sit pretty and let life take care of them. You know what I'm saying? Let's open up. I know that's right. I know that's right. No downloads. I just did an Orisha reading and I'll upload that. Let's see if that energy is still prevalent. So we have the death card. Look at that. I just want you to take a look at that visual. This is definitely a death portal, you can see, but the light is literally flooding through the canopy of trees and you start to see in the cracks the flowers grow. So with death comes rebirth. But it's also giving me the energy of like, there is a death portal. And as you allow yourself to die, oh my goodness. Then we have the moon, 2 major arcanas popping out. As you allow yourself to die, and you allow all these dense parts of yourself, the stale parts of yourself that you don't need anymore. It's literally called death because like it's time for things to change. It's transformation energy. So the energy is persisting because the Orisha reading I covered was the Orisha of storms and change and death and transformation, which is Oya. So I suppose the energy is very persistent and very insistent, very relentless. Love to hear it because we are in a season of death. And a quantum leaping season is a season of death. You don't quantum leap without dying, without changing, without transformation, without shedding what is no longer necessary. Right? So if you're manifesting right now and you're calling this thing in and that person in and that community in, I hope you're also allowing yourself to die and giving yourself the grace to do so. And then we have the moon that comes out. Yeah, you've been through, this is a death portal. You've been through a dark time, but it wasn't like, oh my God, it's dark. It was just revealing the mysteries to you, right? And you're coming out into the light now. Hermit mode is over. You were deep in the mysteries, in the underwaters, Piscean energy, making friends with shadows, observing the illusions, seeking the truth. That's why. And that cycle is over. They're saying you're coming out into the light, whether you like it or not. So we have the 4 of Cups. And then we have the 3 of Stars, which is your 3 of Wands energy. And then we have the 10 of Swords. Yeah, the 10 of Swords in conjunction, in relationship to the Death card and the Moon card. So you've had to make peace with all the cycles, all the timelines, all the habits, all the lifetimes, that perpetual suffering, that perpetual despair, that perpetual hopelessness. You had to go into the darkness to transmute that, to make friends with that, to make peace with the fact that you've been apathetic. You've been bored with what your life has been. And that's why that cycle of hopelessness, despair, endings, everything seems to end. Each time you come into joy, each time you come into stability, each time you come into community, each time you come into gentleness, it always seems to end one way or another. And you've had to make peace with that. To say that comes from a place of dissatisfaction. It comes from a place of being bored. It comes from a place of wanting more. You wanted more, right? You wanted more, but you couldn't move forward. You could not move forward without really coming to terms with the parts of you that resonated with that perpetual discomfort, that perpetual despair, that perpetual pain, cyclical trauma, cyclical fear, unending, on and on and on and on. And you had to dive deep into yourself, into the mysteries, into the subconscious. That's Piscean energy, Neptune energy, to see where exactly the veils were so thick that you couldn't see beyond this cycle. And you've done that. That's why the Three of Staves is here, the Three of Wands. You've done that. And that's why you're almost graduating. That's why the hermit mode is over. You've taken inventory of the mysteries, of the illusions, of the parts of you that are wounded. You've done that, and now you can look forward to expansion. Now you can move forward. Now you can expand upon what you know. Now you are given the tools, the transportation to move, to voyage out into the world and see what it is like to live. And I've been getting that feeling as well, to be quite honest. I kind of feel like, oh my God, like I am stepping into the light. And the universe is saying it's time to step into the light, whether you like it or not. I'm sorry. You've done the work. This is what you did the work for. If you still want to be comfortable in the darkness, isolated, I'm sorry, that time is over. It's time for you to shine. It's time for you to leap forward. Ooh. It's time for you to shine. It's time for you to reap what you sow. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Coins. It's time for you to manifest. It's time for you to use all the lessons, all the tools that you've been given in that darkness. That initiation period was precisely for this. Like it or not, baby, you're about to shine. Sorry if you don't want that. Yeah, we also have the Three of Swords, you know. This is about integrating. This is about seeing where exactly am I standing in my way. That initiation period, that darkness that you were in was about you dying. Was about parts of you that stand in your way dying. Parts of you that were fragmented dying. It was about expanding your heart space. And it had to shatter your heart space. I'm sorry that it had to happen that way, but it had to happen that way. Because glory is yours now, and your heart space is open now. You can hold more love, more joy, more pleasure, more truth. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the reason why you are perpetuating the Ten of Swords energy, things, you know, fleeting joy, fleeting grace, fleeting love, fleeting everything, was because there was a part of you, a part of your heart space that was contracted, just holding on too much. And you kind of just let go. And then we also have the Daughter of the Stars, Page of Wands. And now you're excited. It's like now you've been given a go ahead. Now life was like, yeah, you can go. You can go. Whatever it is that you wanted to do. If you wanted to laugh, if you wanted to create, if you wanted to experience joy, if you wanted to be in your energy, if you wanted to shine, now you have permission. Because you have taken inventory of all the ways in which you were standing in your own way. And there was no way you could move forward. Absolutely no way you could move forward without this cycle, without this isolation, without coming to terms with the parts of you that need to be relinquished, that need to be renounced, that need to die, to be buried. Take your lessons, but leave the rest of it, honey. We don't need all of that. We don't need the despair. We don't need the hopelessness. We don't need the ceaseless pain. We don't need that. Look at you getting your rewards. Nine of Pentacles. That period was for you to love up on yourself, to learn to love up on yourself, love up on your wounds, love up on your trauma, love up on your experience, love up on your life. This is your story. It's no one else's story but yours to own. And that initiation, that part in the underworld, in the underwaters, with illusions and I mean, it's very confusion. It's very confusing. Trust me, I know what it's like to be in the deep, dark waters, isolated from everyone. Like that's Piscean Virgo energy, that axis. Oh my God. Like the hermit and the moon, you will be isolated. You will be isolated to come to terms with the truth of who you are. But this is what's about, what it's about, baby. Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, Three of Wands, Page of Wands. You have permission to move forward. Whether you like it or not, you're moving forward. Look at that. And we end up with the Nine of Cups too. Your wishes are coming true. Like you are... Please manifest. Call it in. Whatever it is you want. Ask for it. I know it feels like you're scared because you come from this place where you asked and you received for like 2 seconds and then it slipped through your fingers. But this time it's sustainable. Trust me, this time it's real. This time it's enduring because you've done the work. And I'm not saying you weren't doing the work before, but you were probably doing it at a very surface level. And you had to be pushed down deep into the underwaters to really get to the crux of the matter, to see the truth. Death is like life, rebirth, and death are very, very much an intrinsic part of life, and that is the truth of it. And you have to die to come to this, to come home to yourself, to come into the light. We die to go to heaven, don't we? So you had to die. You had to shed, you had to purge. And it's okay to die. It's okay to change. Because look what change gets you. Look where you land with change. With the tools to move forward. With zest and excitement. Because a profound part of you knows that it's been awakened. Your heart space is awake. It's expansive. There is no contraction. Even if there is grief, even if there is discomfort, you are aware. You view things from a very different lens now. That's the whole moon energy, Piscean energy. It will take you into the underworld, the underwaters, into the darkness, into the subconscious, for you to make friends with all the things that you thought were scary, all your shadows, all your monsters. You met them here. And now you can come out into the light knowing that your monsters are really your friends, are really just a part of you that needed love, that needed light, that needed acknowledgement, that needed a deep spiritual, energetic hug. And you can't really move forward. Like this feeling of boredom, of apathy, it persists because you're disconnected from a part of yourself. You're disconnected from your monsters, disconnected from your shadow, disconnected from your wounded aspects. And of course, you'll feel half. You'll feel like something is missing because something is missing. Your monsters want your love too. They want to come out into the light and show the world what's happening. And without dealing with the monsters, this cycle goes on and on and on. I'm telling you, it's non-stop pain. Even if you get a break for a brief second, a cute little relationship, a cute little job, it ends up leaving you bored. It ends up leaving you apathetic. It ends in tears all the time because you haven't come home to yourself. But now that you have, and you've allowed that part of yourself that resigns the shadows to the cages and really doesn't want to look into the illusions, look into the wounds, look into the trauma, you've allowed that part of yourself to shed. And now your traumas know what your love feels like. Your fears know what your love feels like. Your wounds know what your love feels like. So we can move forward. We can get our wishes. We can get that money, that abundance, that wealth. We can get our rewards. We loving up on ourselves. On ourselves. We loving up on ourselves. And you're excited. Look at you. You're just like, I'm ready to go. You're like, I'm fine to go. I'm fine to show the world what's happening. It's time for you to experience your magic, but it's time for the world to experience your magic too. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Let me just end this and cry in peace. I love you so much, and I'll see you on Monday. Mwah.